This video is a replay of a trade I took today. Now, it probably goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. I am not a financial advisor, and trading entails risk. Just because I got these results today doesn't mean that I can get these every day, nor that you can. Remember, the entire premise of the investing project and the $1 million experiment is that I am not an expert, and yet I am learning how to do this. So for heaven's sake, don't just blindly copy me. Instead, find a mentor, someone who is an expert, and join their community. Pay for their mentorship. This approach has worked very well for me, and it likely will for you too. So use this video partly as education and partly as inspiration. After all, if I can learn this, you can too. Hello all. So today we traded a little bit on the YM. And so I wanted to explain why and then what we did. So essentially, and I would have liked to have gotten in on the either on the ES or the NQ, but I hadn't. It just looked like a lot of chop. If you look at the NQ for a second, I'll just sort of circle this area here. There's a lot of chop in here, and it wasn't really obvious to me that this is a potential reversal on the 5 minute as it pulled back from this area 25,116. The problem is that it didn't look like a very clear trend. I like 3 to 5 candles before to establish a trend before I go about trying to reverse it. And so I didn't want to take that trade. This didn't seem like a very good option. I didn't see anything really good on the ES either, particularly, although I suppose I could have in retrospect said, yeah, these were legitimate setups, but I didn't like them. But what I did like was over here on the YM. So if I zoom in on this, you can see here it's much more clear that we've had an uptrend, and it was a little bit slower in pulling back from this area. And so what I did is on this first red bar here, I put a sell order, and this is right around 7 a.m. I get into 7:08 Pacific time, and I got in at 48.056. So I was just a shade late, but I wanted to make sure that this was serious before I actually put the trade in. So let me play this back here. Just 1 second. Advance this, make it faster, and we'll let it go. I'm trading 2 contracts of the YM because each one is 50 cents. So and this looks like a pretty tight
Order filled.
range here. So if I pause this for a second, what we can get here, I got 48.056. This ends up being, I think I put put this stop at 10 points past this high. So that ends up being a risk of 60 handles. And with 2 contracts at 50 cents a contract, that's a risk of $60. And so that's well within the acceptable range of risk. So we're going to let this play out a little bit here. And I'm going to follow down. Now, normally with the YM, let me pause this for a second. This is going super fast. Actually, I'm going to slow it down a little bit here. Normally with the YM, after it moves 100 points in the right direction, it'll move this stop to break even. The problem I have is that I don't really trust it to move, to not snap back a bit, because right now it just seems like it's sort of a choppy time in the market. So I'm going to let this play a little bit here, and then I'm going to follow the 5 minute down. So we can see here, right about now, I'm going to put this in at whatever this is, 24. Actually, I think I ended up putting in at 26, which then ended up getting stopped out. And so what I did is I captured 30 points times 2 contracts at 50 cents. So I made $30 on that trade. Not a ton, but today was shaping up to be a choppy day. So I didn't really, I didn't really want to risk too much, and I didn't want to give it too much leeway, frankly, because I wasn't very confident in what was going to happen. So that's what I did. $30, not much, but it is what it is.